This podcast contains strong language and adult themes from the outset. Strap yourselves in, baby. My stomach's making funny noises.
That was mine, I think, wasn't
It was mine. Did you hear it? You heard it from over there, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was mine.
I tell you what I got. So I was at the expo at the weekend, Arnold Classic.
Right.
Arnold Games? I don't know.
Because, like-
NEC, from Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
I don't know why they were doing it, but
I think it was the Arnold Games.
I was going to say, because Floyd posted from
Yeah, that's
Classic
right.
4.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, right.
Well, because Coast Save was up there competing.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, and they did all right. They come 10th out of 21 guys. I think they did a good job. It's a fledgling group of guys. So one guy is his first competition, so he did really well, you know. But there was a stand. I want to call it the Fit Butter, Nut Butter. Anyway, I like the bag. I wanted to get the free bag. So we were going around trying to get freebies all day. That's what we were trying to do. And I have got in my bagel it's chocolate nut butter.
Oh my God, no, it's not like funky nut butter or anything like that, is it?
I don't know.
Because there's a company I used
Do
to
you know
get.
what? I was going to bring you a jar because I got 6 jars. So
I'll even buy one off you. Because if is it like
80p?
what?
Yeah, I got 6 jars for £5.
There's a bargain made.
That's really good.
So I've given a couple
Is
to
it
my
peanut
husband.
nut butter or is
Yeah.
it? So like, there's a company I used to order
And it's got
from.
banana in it with my
Nice.
bagel. Yeah,
There was a company I used to order from. It's called Funky Nut Butter or something like that. But for some reason they went. I think it was like last Christmas. I think they put a post up saying, "Oh, we're just going to close for a bit because it's over Christmas because they've been pretty flat out over like lockdown." Then I couldn't get hold of it anywhere. But they used to do. I first found them because they did this hazelnut chocolate butter, but proper hazelnuts. Stopped that. Then I got the dark chocolate peanut butter. Then I couldn't find them after that.
This has got no. Oh, right. So this is guy. I was looking at the probiotics, and there was a pink box and a white box, and he was giving me a really hard sell on. He was trying to get me to buy some detox thing to get rid of any kind of metals in my body.
Oh, not like,
I'm
you know, the detox tea.
Yeah,
that they
I said, dude, listen,
skinny tea.
I'm pretty pure. I don't need that. Right. I said, what's the difference between the pink box and the white box? He went, oh. And he looked at me, he got a little bit shy, and he pointed at the pink box and he went, the pink box is for your downstairs area. Apparently it's for your downstairs health. I went, I'm all right with that, bud. Right.
But what, hang on, what, like a probiotic?
I don't know.
What, do you like wipe it on there or do you take it? Is it a pessary?
Is it?
Or is it a cream? Or is it oral?
Yeah. No, I think it was oral.
Fucking pessary is disgusting.
Oh, I know. Well,
Just goes chalky.
okay. I know. So put the thrush tube up there. Anyway, he got me. I said, "Oh look, I don't need any of that. Like, show me the nut butter." So he showed me the nut butter, and he told me it had no palm oil in it. So I was like, "All right." It was £1 for a jar or 6 for 5. I said, "Give me 6 jars," and I got a free bag.
What does the bag look like?
It's cute. I'll send you a picture later.
All
It's
right,
cute. It's cute.
Put it on our Instagram.
All right,
page.
I'll put it on the Instagram. Yeah. Yeah, it's a cute bag.
Get ready.
Wait, leave nothing out.
If you want help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Don't threaten me. You don't scare me.
Fun and excitement.
And when your head is down,
Leave nothing out.
So yeah, it was a good thing. I tell you, loads of freaks up there.
Oh, I need to put that picture of you and Joe on.
Okay, loads
that was
of
really good.
Loads of freaks up there, like bodybuilding freaks.
I mean, can you say the word freak?
Sorry, can I?
Is it acceptable?
I've said it. I'm saying it. When I say freaky, I mean steroid freaky.
I know. I'm being facetious.
I know.
Is that the correct word?
Well, you know I'm not politically correct.
Yeah.
I say it as I see it. But it makes your eyes water when you look at them. I mean, it does take a lot of dedication, but it's not a sport, is it? It's a body pageant. You've got one person sat behind a desk. There's no...
Well, it's one person, like you said before, it's like one person's opinion,
One
isn't it?
person's opinion on how dark your tan is, what's your character like on stage, and aesthetically, how pleasing are you to them? So, when you're telling them apart, how do you tell them apart?
And yeah, I do look at
You
them
know?
sometimes and go, well, why is that one number one and that one number two and that one number three?
I said to Jodie when I was in the toilet at one point, I was like, there are so many men here. Like it was just a little bit overwhelming about the amount of fit men that was in that NEC hall.
Did you get flutters? With any
I
of
don't know,
them?
it was just too much. It was too much for me to look at. I didn't know. I was like, she's like, do you want to stay up an extra day? And I was like, no, I can't cope. It's just too much going on. I can't. Like, you just didn't know where to look first. I just didn't know what. Oh my goodness me.
Is that how you feel when you go on Studland Bay Nudist Beach?
No, because you know, most of the people over there that are bloody naked are just old guys with their wrinkly knackers down to their
Always have
knees.
their hands behind their head, though, don't they?
Yeah. Oh. Oh. So yeah, no, it was fun. Did I learn anything? No.
Was it just like a conference thing or some like? Was
Well,
there
they
any...
had loads of stalls. I tell you what, the food was really shit for a fitness expo. The food was shit. They had the only stall I found that. All right, I am a bit fussy. I don't eat red meat. I don't eat pork. Right. The only chicken stand that they had no chicken left. They only had pork, and they were cooking everything in genetically modified oil because they had a poster up on their truck that said, "We are cooking in genetically modified oil." You're at a fitness expo.
What? Why?
I don't know. When you went into, there was a food hall. It was just shit. It was just like.
But genetically modified, that just means that it could be corn oil. It could be any type of oil.
GMO.
Yeah, it just means that there's been some, because it'll be the olives or seeds or whatever it is.
But isn't it gone through a chemical process? What?
No, genetically modified could mean anything to do with like the pollination of the seeds, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Or like, you know, say for example it's olive oil, and hear me out a minute. Imagine if it's olive oil. Oh, we're only getting little olives. And what we'll do is we'll just, I don't know, change something.
Add a chemical to it
or
to make it grow.
Or change something in the pollination process, or blend them together to get the biggest one.
Yeah, so they add chemicals to it.
They don't always add chemicals to it,
Well,
do
how
they?
do they grow it then? To be like massive like that?
Okay.
It's been genetically modified.
But genetically modified could mean, right, you've got a skinny man, right, this is going to be politically non-correct. You've got a skinny man who's tall and you've got a fat woman, but she's got something about her that you like. Breed them together and potentially you'll get what you want. You might get the tall, beautiful...
What was the sheep that was grown?
Oh, that was cloned, wasn't it?
Oh,
that was cloned.
All right, that wasn't...
Okay, I'll make it a bit more a bit more how I'm trying to get through. You've got a tall, skinny, ugly man. You've got a beautiful, fat woman. Breed them together. You might get tall.
You completely...
Yeah, I just thought about it.
When you edit that out later...
Yeah, I'm gonna... But I just thought about it. Because it didn't make any sense when I said it the first time. So yeah, so breed them together and you have the potential of getting a tall, beautiful, skinny woman, which apparently that's what everyone wants. Or you'll get a really ugly, fat man.
But the thing is, when you put two beautiful people together...
They don't always have a beautiful child.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Anyway.
I used to have I'm going to say this because she won't listen. I have no idea whether she fucking is. There was a girl at school, all the boys fancied her. Blonde, tall, nice figure.
She ain't going to be all that right now.
Well, I haven't seen what she looks like, right? But her mum and dad were rough.
That's one person's opinion.
And But she was beautiful.
Really?
Well,
where's that come from?
I know. Well, there you go. Two ugly people.
Wow. I suppose beauty is in the eye of the beholder, though, Cally, isn't it?
And that's what I was saying to someone the other day also. If the most interesting thing about you is how good looking you are, then you're not very interesting.
But most people like that aren't. Are they? They don't have any character about them. They think that they're fake. And then when you get talking to them, at face value, you go, oh, they look great. And then when you start talking to them, you go, oh, you're so ugly. Don't you?
Oh, you're like, oh.
Dry.
Gosh. Yeah.
Dry.
There was a post on Facebook today which I had laughed. I think the comment was something like, Do you ever wish you had the confidence to just go, in the middle of a conversation, go, I'm not bothered, and walk off?
I've done that so many times. Do you not know how many times I've done that? There used to be a woman that worked at West Hants. I'm not going to say her name because that wouldn't be very nice, but she was incredibly annoying. And I would, mid conversation, just walk away. I can't listen to that. So awful. She talked the biggest pile of shit. She was the worst personal trainer I've seen ever. Even my clients were saying, listen, Janine, I don't know a lot because I come to see you, but I know that what she's telling her clients is not right. That's how much I know.
I love that when your clients are telling you that what they're saying is wrong.
Right, come on, Cally, what are we talking about today?
I mentioned this to you the other day, didn't I? I can't remember what happened and why I was thinking about it. Oh, I had a client, and in my opinion, he's been probably overtraining for a while. And he's quite keen with his whole kind of watch, heart rate monitor strap, collecting the data. But he obviously wasn't.
Yawn.
But he obviously wasn't. So he's very good at collecting data,
Just not,
but not very good at extrapolating out and using it and go, right, what does that mean? And what should I do because of this, etc. So, and then I had a bit of a day and I was just like, do you know what? I'm fucking sick of people spending hundreds of pounds on this technology. And what are they using it for? Because if they're overtraining and it's not telling them they're overtraining, that's not good. Or if they're overtraining and not listening to it, that's not good. Or, you know, for some reason, I was just like, what's the point in having all this information and not using it?
Right.
And that was my fucking beef.
Right.
So I just thought we'd just chat about it. Because there's many things that I can talk about, but that was basically, I was just pissed off.
About what?
About, we're just over-reliant. I feel like some people are overly reliant on the data that the watch or technology gives them.
Well, people have lost...
Or they're not listening to what their body's telling them.
Exactly. You know what I'm like.
I'm looking for my notes, that's why I'm on my phone.
I don't, like, I've never worn a heart rate monitor. I know how hard I'm working. I don't need to know when I'm at max heart rate. I don't need a watch to tell me when I'm at max heart rate. When I'm at max heart rate, I feel like I'm going to throw up, right? And I know that I'm working too hard. If I cannot construct a sentence when I'm at max cardio, right, I know that I'm in the red zone.
Yeah.
Okay? So people have we've become so sedentary as a race because most people are sat behind a desk. They need a watch or some fucking app to tell them how many steps they're doing. Ooh, I've done 15,000 steps today. Fuck me. Right, if you are up about doing shit, you shouldn't need a watch to tell you to get up off your ass when you've been sat on it for 8 hours to get moving. I couldn't sit down every day for 8 hours.
No, but also talking about that, when it gives you a reminder to stand up, right? I don't have that on my watch. It used to have it on my Apple Watch. My husband's recently but he's got back into his fitness, which I am really glad about because he goes through phases and he's really into it now. But the other day he just stands like we were watching TV and he just stands up out of nowhere. What are you doing? He went, I've got to stand up to close my rings. I was I went, do you know what?
Oh, God.
I couldn't give a fuck if in that 1 hour I'm sat down because I've been on my feet all day. My legs were shot from like a workout which had felt like 10,000 fucking lunges in it, and I've still got DOMs today from it. And I was just like, and it stressed me out that he was stood there watching his watch to see when he could sit down. I was just like,
that would do my head in.
I was like, fucking sit down. Anyway, but I've calmed down since then, as you can tell.
That would do my head in. I mean, it does my head in anyway. It does. I tell you what really frustrates me is that people don't know when they're working out, they don't leave their phones behind.
Yeah.
Right? So they're in the gym, right? If you haven't got a moment in your day where you can say, I am not going to have my phone attached to my hip for 1 hour, right? Again, you've got a bit of a problem, right? When we talk about, we now have an addiction problem to our phones, because I would be very surprised if people could actually just put them away and leave them. One of my clients, he's got his Apple Watch.
Oh yeah, and then that's even. So
He's warming up. Phone goes. He's talking into his phone whilst he's warming up. I'm watching him. I'm like, what are you doing? So people don't know, they cannot separate their lives. There isn't a moment where they're just being still. Just be uncontactable.
Yeah, uncontactable. Yeah.
Uncontactable for a moment. Nothing's going to happen. And even if there was an emergency, right? How fast do you think you're going to get there?
Yeah.
How fast?
So then the question becomes, do you feel that the technology companies have made us feel that we can't be without it? So for example, so I've written down this arbitrary number of like, I've got to get 10,000 steps a day. Now, it's a good thing to make people think, okay, I've got to be moving. I've got to move.
Yeah.
But I've got people who I know have been active. I've given them a really hard training session, but for one reason or another, because the technology doesn't quite collate to moving up and down as to moving forwards and backwards. Oh, well, I haven't really got many steps from that. No, but I saw you hanging out your ass.
Yeah.
So I know you've had a physical effect from the training session I've given you.
Oh, but you know, right, you've got information available to you. You live in the fitness industry. I've been in the fitness industry for over 20 years. I actually lose the will to live when I have to talk to people about understanding information.
That's not true, listeners. She actually loves it when people come and want her experience.
Oh my God. Like when somebody comes to me and says to me, I'm on 800 calories a day.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to conversate with them.
Is that one of the ones where you go, I don't care?
Yes, it is because they're in a place where they think that that's where they should be.
Yeah.
You know, you've got this idea that thinking of eating less and starving yourself is the way forward. You're not going to change that attitude. Much the same as people, they'll think that they need these watches to tell them how to breathe, how to stand up, sit down, close your rings, have a shit.
So talking about people closing the rings.
And not their ring hole.
But so, for example, Apple Watch gives you like little medals, is it? Like little, and then Garmin give you like points. So that becomes like an addiction. Oh, I've got to get more points.
It's a validation.
Yeah.
A validation.
But it's like a nonsense validation, isn't it? Because it's not like, I don't know, like maybe some people will go and do like a triathlon, like, oh, tick, I've done that. But it's an experience.
Yes, it is.
It's not this.
It's a
not
community.
This graphic on a screen.
It's a community. You meet new people. It's a lived experience where you go and actually physically achieve something.
And learn from it.
Yeah, not. You know how I feel about it.
But so I just got some questions to keep us on track.
Go on.
Over reliance on what the tech says.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. So at the minute, I'm listening to how my body feels. Like I know my muscles are tired because I know what I've done from my training this week. Yeah. But I know I'm sleeping well because I'm not waking up in the morning thinking, oh, fucking hell. But I'm also 3 days before I start my period. Tick, period talk. Period talk,
yeah.
But my watch tells me that my heart rate variability is low, like it's in the red.
Right.
When I'm training, I don't feel like I'm lacking energy. So I'm trying to listen to my body. Yeah. Because that's how I feel. And I know when I feel tired, because I said to you, Anna, do you know what? I tried to train today, just couldn't do it. So I just...
But your
I'm
watch,
trying to listen to my body.
Your watch is not going to be in tune with where your hormones are at.
Yeah.
It's not going to go, oh, Callie's got a period coming up. You know, take it off, is what I'd say.
I just kind of got into the habit of
Yeah.
watching it, wearing
I
it.
have had watches. I wear them for a couple of minutes and then I...
Well, I know what to buy you for your birthday.
It'll be on and off all the time because I'm punching shit. I'm having to hold pads, people punch him, and then I
Yeah,
lose it.
That's not just because Janine's aggressive. That's just because it's a job.
I am aggressive. I did say that to somebody the other day. The angry beast has been poked just recently, and I've got to go on holiday with it for a minute and just let it go to bed. I don't like visiting the angry beast anymore. The angry beast just needs to stay put. I am a very angry individual. I am. That I think it's important. I listened to a podcast. Actually, I'm going off on a tangent here, but I listened to a podcast this
I'm just
morning.
surprised that you listen to a podcast. Because whenever I send you one, I know. Are you listening to it yet?
Yeah. No, I listened to it this morning, right? And my friend G sent it to me. And Georgia is a big fan of ours, which is his fiance. So
Yay.
we congratulate them on being engaged. So he sent it to me, and it talks about the healing process from childhood trauma, basically, along those lines. And he talks about not suppressing your anger. Because when you're suppressing your anger, and you're suppressing anything actually in your body, it's not good for you. It's not going to be healthy. Yeah. It can induce all kind of illnesses.
That's to manifest physiologically, doesn't it?
Yes.
Normally, that's what I see.
Yeah. So I think it's my anger's out there, man. There is nothing suppressed in who I am as an individual. So, yeah. I don't know why we started talking about that.
I don't know why you started talking about that.
Anyway.
I was talking about like listening to your body.
Yes.
Right, so on the other flip side, so people have an over-reliance on the technology.
Yeah.
And so are not listening to their body.
No.
I had an experience earlier in the week where I knew someone was working the hardest they could work. But then all they mentioned was, my heart rate is really high, my heart rate's really high. And I thought to myself, but you're able to talk, so you're not dying.
Yeah,
so
that's what
you're
I say.
doing all right.
Yeah.
So I just said to myself, don't worry about what your heart rate says. Just keep moving.
Take
and
the
move
watch
well.
off. Take the watch off, put it down. Just relax. People, yeah. But
Do you think that increases anxiety as well?
The watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it. And a client years ago, right? I got him. We did before we had the watches that were telling us how to live our life. I got him to take his heart rate to find out what his resting heart rate was. I don't know. It was like 81. Okay. Then I had text messages for over 24 hours of him then messaging me going, it's at 110. And so what was happening was that when he was thinking about it and he was taking it, he was getting himself in such a state, it was raising his heart rate.
Yeah.
So yes, I said to him, you need to stop. Chill the fuck out. Okay, enough.
Talking about heart rate and anxiety raising, recently, and you are right with an addiction to the phone. So like my work comes from in my phone, like people contact me via my phone. Recently, with all the people are worried about cost of living. I may have had a few cancellations for one reason or another, but now I'm getting anxious every time I see a message via any form of media, because I'm thinking, oh shit, is that another person having to cancel, or am I having to change the diary because they can't make it, and how will that affect the rest of my day? And I know that's my job, but I did notice today that I was like, I saw something come through and I was like, I don't want to read it. And it wasn't anything bad as it ended up, but it became a little bit of like an anxiety for me.
I don't really care about that anymore. I don't care.
I need to take a Janine pill.
I just don't care about it. I just don't get stressed about it anymore. When I was living with the ex-husband, right, I mean, we were in astronomical amount of debt. I mean, it was crazy, the amount of debt that we were in. And I've lived through that.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. And I had companies telling me how to shop for my food, and you're spending too much money on this. And I just, you know what? We will all be all right. It'll all be all right. Okay? And you will find another way to be able to cope and you will
Yeah.
earn money and you will just, for right now, it is kind of scary because it's a bit of change in
And
what
it's unknown, isn't it?
it is
Yeah.
unknown. But you know what? You're adaptable, and what you are is you're an athlete, and most athletes are pretty adaptable and resilient to massive change because you've learned how to do that within your sport.
Yeah.
All right, we're all going to be okay. We're not going to freeze. We'll all have enough food. You switch the TV off, step outside of the news because it will send you around the twist. Okay, we're all going to be okay. That's my words of wisdom.
That's really nice, actually. And I was thinking, when you were saying about that, I can imagine us all getting together now in a big hug,
Yeah.
keeping the warmth in.
That's right.
And then what we could do is we could do a line of Leave Nothing Out hoodies and jumpers and sell them for a non-profit.
Yeah. Hot water bottles. Get some hot water bottles. Listen, when I was growing up, and we are going off on a bit of a tangent at the moment, but when I was growing up, I lived at my nan's. I think I might have told you
Yeah,
about
we've
this.
chatted about this, I think, when
Right.
with Peachy.
So all my nan had was a coal fire, and that coal fire wouldn't go on till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and I never, as a kid, ever thought to myself, oh my God, I'm absolutely freezing. I had my socks on, I had my jumper on. When I went to bed at night, I slept on it because we didn't have money for a bed. I had a camp bed. You know the fold-out camp beds?
Yes, then the air would be
So I had the
underneath.
camp bed, but I had roll-out foam on the top of it, and then I would be in bed with her coats and blankets and a hot water bottle. And do you know, in that moment when I used to get into bed with all her coats and
God,
everything on top of
yeah.
me, that moment I can take myself back to feeling loved
Yeah.
by
Like
my
cozy.
nan. Just cozy.
Yeah.
Had my hot water bottle on my feet. It was burning my feet. I didn't care.
I remember that.
You know?
I remember getting into bed and I used to have like this blanket that I loved when I was younger, and it was because it was really soft. By the time I grew, it was fucking tiny, but it was really soft. But I'd get into my sleeping bag,
Yeah.
right, get that over me,
Yeah.
and get my cover over me.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I had this anxiety that someone was going to come and steal my teddy. So I tucked myself right in. So if someone was going to come,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be able to get it off me because
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
all
yeah,
tucked
yeah.
in.
But,
That's the
you
most
know,
important thing to
My
me.
nan's house, when I wake up in the morning, the ice was on the inside of the window. She
Yeah,
didn't
on the
have
single glazing.
Yeah, she didn't have double glazing.
I remember my mum coming in the morning, and I remember her stepping on my bed. So when you step on the bed, it would go in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Mum, get out. And she'd be with her, like, the shamus.
Yeah.
And she'd be wiping the
Yeah,
condensation off the
condensation.
window.
So look, we're not in a terrible place. We've all become used to just coming in, switching on the central heating. That's what we've got used to. Way back when, you know.
I wonder if it'll make us more hardy as well, because I would say that when the central heating comes on, you all get a bit stuffy as well.
Yeah, colds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember having as many colds. People having as many colds when I
No.
was younger, or is that just like because I was up north?
No, probably because you're up north. But anyway, it is.
Oh, it's just a tickle, go to school.
Exactly. Oh my, yeah. As far as the phone goes, yeah, you can. I just don't worry about that stuff anymore. But I can understand where you're at, and
Yeah.
it is, you know, when you're thinking, oh fuck, how am I going to pay for that? Do you know what? Right, you'll pay for it when you pay for it.
Yeah, that is true. And if I can't afford it, do I need it? Probably not.
Yeah, all of that.
Um,
And you know what? If you can't afford it, buy it anyway.
That's pretty much my MO.
Do you know what I mean? Like you could die tomorrow. Live your life.
This is a good question, right? I think you
Go.
like it. Guys, I sat thinking about this.
Go on.
Have we lost the ability to think for ourselves since COVID, as we were spoon-fed what to do and how to act?
I think most people have. I haven't.
No, I think there's been a big change in people. Like, even some of the questions that I'm asked, like, you think, obviously you don't want to be awful to some people who might be new to the fitness world, but sometimes it's common sense and you have to think, right, ask yourself that again.
Yeah. Am I speaking to a stupid person?
Yeah. Like, if I feel that they will take it in the right way, I'll go, right, ask yourself that again, and then think, do I need to still answer that question? Because I do feel like a lot of people have been so used to, like, I can remember from, like, was it March 22nd or something like that, and it was like, right, COVID, lockdown, curfews, you're not allowed to go here, you're not allowed to go there, stay in your house, and we'll tell you in 3 weeks what's going to happen.
What did you do?
Well, I was living with a diabetic, so I just...
You locked down. I just carried on as normal.
I had to be mindful.
you know
and
what?
I went to the shop. The thing is, though, at this point, people were still going to the shops without masks on and things like that.
That's
I was
right.
going to the shop without masks on.
Well,
But anyway, and it was all very much like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, we'll tell you in 3 weeks what you can do. Everyone was like watching the TV. What can we do in 3 weeks? 3 weeks came. Yeah, no, wait another 3 weeks. And I feel like they've kind of carried that on.
okay, so let's have a look at the apps on the phone then, right? So it's the same premise.
Yeah.
The watches, the apps. The apps are telling people what they need to do. The watches are telling people what they need to do. Nobody's thinking for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, or I'll go to the doctors. Doctors can prescribe me medication to mask over the issue as opposed to dealing with the issue.
But also, people in this country, more so because of the NHS is free. Well, it's not free because we pay it in whatever, but it technically is free. They won't think, okay, how can I fix this? Oh, let's go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like, and I've had people come and see me. I've given them my advice. They've gone to the doctor. The doctor's told them exactly what I've told them. And then they come back and tell me, oh, yeah, the doctor told me this. I've looked back at my notes and I'm like, this is what I told you 2 weeks ago.
I know. But nobody wants to ask any questions. When I was going through my perimenopause symptoms at the beginning stages, I'm doing okay at the moment. I seem to have leveled out a little bit, but I know at some point it's probably going to go a little bit tits up again because that's what the hormones are going to do, right? When I went to the doctors to talk to them about it, had I not been somebody that asks questions and poses questions and researches stuff for myself, I would not only would I be on antidepressants right now and be taking them all the time, I'd be on tranexamic acid. I don't know what else they prescribe me as well, sleeping tablets to help me sleep. You know, they don't know what they're doing. So
Well, it's trial and error, isn't it?
well, I can do that.
That's fine.
You know, I can sit on the computer and Google it.
Well, I'll try this for a couple of weeks. If that don't work, come back and see me. Okay, I'll just give you something else. Okay, come back and see me.
That's not working. All right, we'll try something else. So no, people have become people are not. There's no free thinking anymore, is there? I did a nutrition medicine course, and it was an amazing course because what it did was deal with the issues as opposed to masking over the issues. When you go to doctors, a lot of the time what they'll do is they give you medication just to mask over the issue as opposed to getting to the root cause.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to basically deal with the issue once it's happened as opposed to educating them
that as
before
well.
It starts to
Okay,
become
so there was
a
this
massive
one of the
problem.
stories that sticks out for me is this guy that had high blood pressure. Went to the doctors, going to be put on medication. Okay, of course, you start taking that medication, you then start having adverse effects because of the medication. And then you end up taking more medication to deal with the problems that you're having from the medication that you're taking for the high blood pressure. So he goes for tests. In this scenario, okay, he had a high level of concentration of lead that was sitting on his kidneys that was causing the high blood pressure and then was causing gout in his system.
Oh, yeah, because it was like affecting the sodium levels.
Yes.
And stuff.
So he'd been dyeing his hair for years.
Is this one of the case studies?
Yeah.
Right.
So they don't use lead in dyeing products now. But you still think of the chemicals that you're putting on your sister, on your face, the makeup, dyes, all of that, okay? It's still getting into your system. So once he stopped dyeing his hair and he flushed out his system, the high blood pressure went away. And he didn't have to take medication. So always ask yourself as to what is occurring, as to why you've got high blood pressure.
Oh, but also that's another interesting point. So when, as a therapist, you're told to take a subjective history, and it's all really important to listen to what the client is telling or the patient is telling you. But the doctors these days don't have that time, so it's kind of like they've got to get as much information as they can, and then they're probably thinking, right, okay, let's just deal with what's happening, take this drug or whatever.
Well, yeah.
And so therefore it might have taken somebody else to extrapolate out and be like, hang on.
Yeah, but they don't.
How old are you? 60. You got jet black hair.
yeah.
How often do you dye your hair, Mrs. Smith?
Yeah, but that's a great example as to ask that question as to why you've got high blood pressure. But as far as if we go back to the technology and people becoming reliant on everything being there at the end of our phone. Nobody wants, again, just, I don't know, nobody just wants to seek anything out these days, do they?
No. But also then, have we got to, like we said in the first and second episode, have we got too much information that we're overloaded? I've got a list here.
Go on.
So although I said, you know, have we been indoctrinated too much? So got to do 10,000 steps, got to get 8 hours of sleep a night, no screens before bed, don't do this, don't do that. Stand up here, sit down there.
Close your rings. Eat 800 calories a day. Don't eat 800 calories a day.
Oh, make sure you eat this percentage of proteins, this percentage of fats, this percentage of carbs.
You need 5 vegetables every day.
Oh yeah,
Just shut up.
yeah. Like the old days, apple a day keeps the doctor
Keeps
away.
the doctor. Although I do have an apple a day, to be fair.
Yeah, so do I.
I do have an apple a day. But yeah, I think that we've said this before, there is too much information out there, but people have lost touch with themselves.
Yeah.
We were away at the weekend, and Jo Woodall, you know who Jo Woodall is. I mean, she's 5'0" and she is stripped, you know, ripped to within an inch of her life. But she has followed that lifestyle for 30 years.
Yeah.
And what you get, and I see it all the time, people sitting there going, well, what do you do, Jo? Like, listen, you ain't Jo. Okay, and this is what I had to say to one of the girls at the weekend. You're not Jo.
Yeah.
Okay, your body is not Jo. It doesn't matter what Jo does. You will not look like Jo because you haven't got Jo's genetics. Okay, you have to find out what works for you.
Yeah.
Jo can eat porridge in the morning. I can't eat porridge in the morning anymore if I don't want to have a menopause apron on my gut. I don't want it, you know? So
Yeah.
I've had to kind of research what I need to do and why is that happening for me right now. So we've talked about that before. Researched it. My insulin levels are changing. My hormone levels are changing. So it's not responding to the insulin how I want it to. So I've got to change it around. But that's for me.
Yeah.
How in tune are you with your body and how it works with different foods? Much the same as when Peachy talked about the fact that when she stopped eating meat, she stopped having gut ache.
Yeah, she felt better.
Okay, so that's Peachy. I can't live without meat.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem from meat,
No.
but no, I can see where
You know,
she needed that break.
She's fine. She's found what works for her.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do. Never mind what a machine is telling you what you need to do.
Also, and that brings us kind of back around to a lot of things we talked about, where people are constantly comparing themselves to other people.
Yeah.
Like we've had, like in the gym at the minute, we've got people kind of going, oh, I need to be able to do this, to do that, because, you know, I'm not improving because so-and-so is doing really well. Right, but
What are you doing?
what can you do that they can't do? Focus on what you can
that's
do.
right.
Everyone's very negative at the minute, and I don't know if that's a roll on with, you know, the change in the weather, the change in the economic system. Just everyone's a bit up and down, and it's catching.
Well, it can be if you let it get to you. Just ignore them.
I just message you every day, and then you cheer me up with something. there'll be some Janine knowledge.
Janineism.
Yeah, there'll be some Janine knowledge that will come out. There's this beauty, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm all right.
Of course you're all right.
Got Janine in my corner.
Of course you're all right, because you know what? You're not a sheep. Don't be a sheep.
Yeah.
Stand on your own. Don't be afraid to have an opinion. Don't be afraid to be you. Right? And some people will like it and some people won't. And those people that don't, fucking do one. You know? That's it. But people are sheep.
Yeah, and well, and yeah, people, like you said, people are afraid to speak out because they're almost after likes all the time.
Yeah.
And we've learnt that from social media.
Yeah. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. But you see it in the news. They've got 1 million followers on Instagram. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? It means that they're a horrible person.
Who spends too much time on Instagram.
Disingenuous. Most of those people are going to be disingenuous.
Yeah.
Not real. How are you going to sit down? I tell you what, right? Honestly, I was walking the dog last night, right? And these two girls, I mean, I don't even think they were 20 years old, right? Walking down the road, they're all done up, right? And they've got their phones in front of them. I swear to God, one of them, as she was walking, was obviously holding her phone and she was checking herself in her phone. I fucking could start laughing. And she saw me. I just laughed at them. I thought, what has happened to you girls? Why can't you just be? Just be without this narcissistic tool in front of you that you're using your filters with, and you're checking in with yourself every 2 seconds. Like, stop it. Yeah, I laughed. Just walked past with the dog, laughed my head off. Thought it was very funny.
It's quite sad though, isn't it?
Really sad. And I tell you what else at the weekend as well, is seeing the girls and these young women walking around with, they've got their fake tits and they've got their lips done and they might have had their fucking bums pumped up. I think it's a shame. I'm walking around, I felt really good at the weekend. I felt really good and I had my jeans on and my top was on, and I felt like an anomaly as well, because I was like, you know what? I'm fucking 100% natural.
Yeah.
I haven't got any Botox in my face. I think maybe genetically I'm lucky, but I'm the only woman in the group that I was in that hasn't had Botox in their face.
But also, do you put your moisturiser on every morning?
I do.
Factor 50.
No, I've never put Factor on.
Oh, I put Factor on.
Ever?
But I've got the ginger gene.
I don't even wear suntan lotion when I go out in the sun.
Yeah, but you're not ginger, so.
My dad's ginger.
Yeah, but you have a nice skin tone.
Do you know what I've got,
In the
though?
summer you had a nice tan, didn't you?
Yeah, do you know what? It's my Iranian Egyptian blood.
Oh yeah.
My Arab Egyptian blood. That's what that is. Funny, isn't it?
I need to do that and see
You
where
do.
I've probably got like Irish and Scottish and
The whiteness of white.
Do you know what? I was about to do a really bad Irish accent then, and then I could hear it in my head, and I was like, no, because it's shit.
Go and do it.
like,
Ooh, but Jimmy.
because I can't even think how I would do it.
Don't.
I don't want to offend Peachy anyway, but she's from Northern Ireland, so it'd be very different.
Okay.
My accents are rubbish. Like, my Welsh accent always sounds like I'm from
It was
over
quite
the other
funny
way.
being in Birmingham. The deep Brummie. I mean, you're only 2 hours up the road. The deep Brummie accent.
I think it's fascinating. Like, you can go.
I know.
Like,
2 hours up the road, they sound completely different.
but then go another 2 hours up the road, they can sound completely
Like
different.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, I went to Newcastle once.
Oh,
And,
deep in Newcastle. You will not understand a word they're
Right.
saying.
I went to Subway, and like, right, so Subway, you know what they're going to ask.
Yeah.
What bread do I think I wanted salad, but what bread do you want? What
Yeah.
fillings do you want? What sauce do you want?
Yeah.
Couldn't understand a word.
No.
So good job I kind of knew what the routine was.
Yeah.
But he'd started asking me extra questions, and I was like, and in the end I went, look, I'm very sorry. I know this is me saying it, but I can't understand what you're saying. And he was all right about it.
You need to speak slower.
Yeah.
I'm from Dorset, and
but-
the thing is though, when you
You're
travel,
really slow.
like when you
I've
travel
had
down
to
the
slow
country,
down my accent. That's why I'm like,
I don't always think my Dorset accent comes out every so
Yeah,
often.
you do have a little, because my mum
little-
was saying
a
that she
little
likes
tinge.
your accent when she's listening to the podcast.
Yeah. I am a little bit of an amalgamation of everything, really, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'm
Sometimes
not-
when you're a little
I'm a
bit
little
tired,
bit-
your Dorset accent comes out. Yeah.
like there's a little bit of fucking
Geezer.
like geezer talking that comes out.
Bit of Danny Dyer.
But a bit of Danny Dyer, all right.
Oh, COVID.
But yeah, can you put your mask on, please?
I put my hand over. I put my hand over my mouth.
But yeah, the Dorset. My Dorset accent comes out sometimes, and I laugh at myself when I hear that.
We was in the eye hospital once, and someone came up to James, and I can't do it, but he's like, my wife likes your glasses. That's terrible. But imagine that in a Dorset accent.
Yeah.
And I was like giggling, and James loves it because you don't really hear the Dorset accent that much in
No.
Bournemouth anymore. But go down to Weymouth and then go a little bit further, like
Carrot crunching country.
yeah, and then you start to hear it, and James,
Yeah.
it's such a shame that the Dorset accent has sort of like started to go from Bournemouth because everyone's coming in from London and wants to have the second home.
But you just you go a little bit further south. There's Jeremy Clarkson did that farm program.
Yeah.
There's the farmer on there.
Oh, the young lad.
No, not
Yeah.
him. No,
Oh.
the old fella that was doing all the work.
Yeah, doing the dry wallet.
You couldn't understand what he was saying.
But I love the fact that Jeremy Clarkson was like, oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you just carry on.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah, that's in Chipping Norton. We went to Wood Norton, and James
Right.
was like, "We're not far from Jeremy Clarkson's farm. Should we go visit it?"
Right.
Long story short, we got there. Fucking car park was packed. So we
Course.
just turned around, like,
Yeah.
well, we've been here, tick.
Yeah.
He went, "Do you want to get out and take a photo?" No,
Not
can't be
really.
arsed.
Not really.
We've been here.
Oh.
But I'll watch it on the TV, and if I want anything online, and I went online,
Right.
fucking extortionate
It's
prices.
Jeremy
He didn't
Clarkson.
need to worry about earning any money on that farm. His people buy a tea towel, and he's probably paid his mortgage off.
£100.
Not quite the hand fan prices.
Yeah. The opera.
And the opera.
Opera.
Oh, I love that. Ooh,
Go on.
little bit of so. James has been listening to these other podcasts, and at the
Right.
end of every podcast, he does this petit plaisir. We could just do Janine and Cally's little tidbit.
Okay, all right. What tidbit have we got?
Right, I went to this little theatre. It's in Winton. It's
Right.
not far from the Phoenix, and it looks like when you're near it.
Jazz dance studio.
It's just like a tiny fucking little theatre.
Right.
It was really cool.
Right.
And it used to be the whole bit was the theatre, but
Right.
now the downstairs bit is a mechanics. So if you walk past it, you would just miss it.
Right. Where's
It's not
that?
far where the YMCA is.
Around the corner.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you go past the YMCA building,
Yeah.
there's mechanics, and there's
Yeah.
just a door. You go up these really cool stairs,
Yeah.
round the corner, little theatre.
Is that your tidbit?
That's my little tidbit.
Oh, well done, Callie.
Yeah. The Little Theatre in,
Okay.
I think it's classed as Winton, but
Yeah,
it's
it is Winton.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more down there.
Yeah,
It's
more-
not
that's what I said,
It's
more
not.
down.
It's on the cusp.
It's kind
more
of
down.
in the middle.
It's on the cusp.
So that was my little tidbit for this week.
Okay. Do they do regular shows there?
I don't know. We saw this thing called you'd have liked it. It's called Relatively Speaking.
Right.
And it was, so the first bit started off.
1 hour later.
It's a bit of a bedroom farce thing. It's quite funny.
Oh.
But it's, yeah.
I'm bad when people start telling me stories like
Yeah, I
that.
know. I can see it in your face. It was good.
Okay,
It was
well, I trust
funny.
you. I really trust you on that, but I'm not good when people start telling me stuff like that because I zone out.
So it was quite good.
Okay. So when people start telling me jokes, I can't bear it.
Oh,
I just-
I got some great jokes.
I'm not very good. I've told you before. I'm not good with them.
You're not good with banter on text.
I can't be bothered.
You take it real serious. I'm like, then I have the voice message. I'm like, Janine, that was sarcasm. Oh, well, what? It don't come across like that on text. All right.
It don't though, does it?
All right, fine. What try.
It doesn't.
That was all my questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we made some good points in that.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
think
that-
I managed to get out my frustration with the sheepness of people at the minute. And if you're overtraining, the fact that you keep getting injured and getting ill is an indicator that you're overtraining.
Yeah, you don't need a machine to tell you that
No.
you're doing that.
And if you're not improving because, for example, you're actually making a note of what your training is and you're making a note of what you're lifting and you're not improving, you don't need a fucking watch to tell you you're not working hard enough.
No.
You can tell. And if you're not losing, I'm going to carry on.
Oh, okay.
And if you're not
Go on.
losing weight,
Yeah.
but you're training hard, it's not the fucking training that's wrong.
No.
It's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Damn right.
You're eating.
Oh,
you're not eating.
God,
right.
I feel
Get
like
it
a
out.
weight is on my
Get it out,
shoulders.
Callie. Get it out.
Triggered.
I feel good.
Good. It's true.
Right.
Oh, people want all the answers, don't they? They want all the answers, and they just need to listen to themselves, and they're not. And that's the end of that. Isn't it?
Yeah. Stop comparing yourself to everybody
Yeah,
else.
Definitely. All right.
Because what works for them doesn't work for everyone.
Does not. Does not. And your body types are all different as well.
Yeah. And if
Right.
you're going to moan to me about your period, listen to episode 10.
Yeah. Yes. Think it's
Ooh, all right then. I've got another one because this will trigger you, I think. Hashtag triggered.
right. Well, it don't take much, does it?
We had a question come in. What do you think is the best music to train to?
Oh, Yeah, we've had this conversation. You know it would trigger me because listen to whatever you fucking want to listen to, and don't now. I've been stood in the gym on shift when I do the occasional shift, and people have walked in and immediately left because they haven't got their headphones with them. I mean, do me a favour. You shouldn't need anything. You should just train and be with yourself.
Even if you have to listen to your heavy breathing.
Heavy breathing. Whenever I used to run, I can't run to music. I can't bear carrying stuff. I just want to be in my head. Sort of shit out.
So there's sometimes when I go out I went for a walk with someone and she wanted to listen to music. I'm like, we're out walking.
Together?
Yeah.
So she's listening to music, but she's walking with you?
No, but she wanted to have it on loud.
Oh, no.
We were in the Pearbex. I'm like, no music.
No.
The only music we've got is the sea and the birds.
I would find that pretty offensive.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Anyway, right. I wasn't offended, but she's like younger. And is that the younger generation? And what is it with people when they're with the friends with a fucking AirPod in their ear?
I don't know.
And they're walking with their friends.
Yeah. Well, you see them
Take it out.
If my mate turned up to train with me, right, and they've got their AirPods in and they listen to music, I'd tell them to fucking do one.
Yeah.
Why are we training together? And you've locked your music in your ear rolls.
Yeah.
Because we're not training together. Because that's just rude. Take it out.
Yeah. I wasn't necessarily training. I was in a class, but the workout was predominantly running. But I just needed something, so I did have some music on that day. And he went to me, "Well, are you going to train with your headphones in? What's the point in training together?" And I went, "Gav, let's be honest. I'm going to see more of Martin than I am of you."
Yeah.
Because Martin was in the gym.
Yeah.
And he went, "Okay, fair enough." I went,
Yeah.
"But if we was training together in the gym, then I wouldn't do it."
No.
And he went, "All right, fair enough." I went, "I'll see you at the end."
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, as you're running away from me because I'm shit at running.
Yeah. There's nothing more demoralising, is there?
No. But I tell you, and that's another thing. I know that I'm not very good at running, so I've made sure that every time there's a workout on a Friday that's got running in it, because that's when we do our longer ones.
Yeah.
I've been there and I've kind of not cherry picked. I've just done it.
Oh, I don't run anymore.
Yeah, but you don't run because of your knee.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
I'm just in pain all the time.
Yeah. But that's a bit like anyone. If anyone says to me, "I'm rubbish at gymnastics,"
practice your gymnastics.
but they don't go on a Thursday when it's gymnastic focus.
Exactly.
So don't moan.
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm not very strong," but they don't come to any of the strength training sessions.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't moan to me.
Yeah.
When you're not achieving what you want to achieve, and everything you're doing suggests that you should be achieving, right, then come and complain at me.
Yeah, true. I get that.
Oh, God, I feel like
We've
this
got
has
a load
been...
of yeah. Right, so anyway, back to the answer to the question about music. Right.
I did pose it.
Right, fucking grow up. And that's what I'm going to say about that.
I'm going to say 80s. Right then.
That's it.
As always, send us... Oh, someone said to me that they sent me a 5-star review on Spotify. I'm going to sound a bit retarded at the minute now. It hasn't come through, so I don't know if I have to go find it somewhere, so I'll have a little look.
All right, do that.
But she said she gives a 5-star review, so thank you. And if anybody else wants to give us a 5-star review...
Can you do that, please?
Yes, please do that. And remember, these podcasts are free. Free, so we don't ask you for anything. If anyone wants to sponsor us, we will happily do a bit of cross-collaboration, cross-promotion. We'll promote you if you promote us. That'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
So send us your emails if you want to send us emails at leavenothingout@gmail.com, and we're on Instagram at leavenothingout.
Send us some pictures.
Yeah, send us pictures, send us your feedback. Tell us if you like us, tell us if you don't like us. We'll probably tell you to shut up, but we'll post it anyway.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of that. I don't bad critique, any critique.
I sent I asked one of my mates today if he listens to our podcast, and he went, "I didn't know you had one. Can you send me the link?" I went, "It's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts." He went, "Okay, cool." He went, "What's it about?" I went, "It's funny." Well, I think it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
It is funny.
Yes.
My auntie Donna listens to it, and I want to say actually a big shout out to Donna, because this is another thing that came up which frustrated me one day.
Go on.
She put a post on Facebook asking people's opinion on this Noom app. She sent this thing out into the ether, and I was reading the feedback, and it was all negative. Oh, don't use that, it's rubbish. I've started Weight Watchers, it's really helping me. Oh, no,
what
I did.
do you
listen,
expect?
I did Weight Watchers, it's rubbish, blah, 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 blah. So I did post on there going, listen to this podcast. It sounds like the hosts know what they're talking about, and tagged our podcast in it.
Yeah.
I then privately messaged her and said, look, Donna, you know, how are you? What you've been up to? Anyway, she's doing all the right things. She's trying to get her routine going. She's trying to be active.
Right.
And then I said to her, don't listen to all the negativity from other people. Do what's right for you. And then she said she listened to our podcast and she loved it.
Okay.
And then I caught up with her a couple of days ago, and she said that she's lost an inch off her waist.
Great. The thing is, and this is what we're going to finish on, when you look for validation on social media, you are not going to get what you want because people there's no consequence to what they write, so they feel that they can write whatever the fuck they want. All you need to do is speak to your mate. Speak to your mate face to face. What do you think? And your friend, if they're a good friend,
Will be honest.
Will be honest.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. Stop posting your shit on Facebook and Instagram and living your life vicariously through it.
And I'm going to be a bitch now. Whoever that was in Christchurch the other week wearing a nude catsuit,
Oh my God.
if your mate told you looked good, she's not your friend.
Oh!
That's what we're finishing on.
Laters.
Mic drop. See you next time.
Laters.
Get ready.
We leave nothing out.
If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Don't threaten me. You don't scare me.
Fun and excitement.
And when your head is down,
Leave nothing out.